Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today. What would happen if a major car company decided just to liquidate everything because they were in such dire straits? What would happen? Well, we're going to discuss that. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We have a sponsor today, Patriot Gold, and let's get right into it. Stellantis, which owns Dodge, Ram, and the Stellantis models, they are having a huge problem. They had a shakeup late last year. The CEO steps down, but they had an absolute problem with sales that crashed. They say as much as 24%. Hello, how does a car company have sales that are off over 20% and they're still in business? The amount of inventory that Stellantis has is at an all-time record high. Now, what do? How do you solve that? Well, here's what you do. You blow it out. And my buddy TK from TK's Garage did a great video on this. And what they're going to do is they're going to liquidate as much of the inventory as they can at a discounted rate as high as 60%. So one thing that he's telling people, if you have your Ram truck, Dodge truck that you want to get rid of it now. Okay, unload it now, because the problem with it is that if they do this massive sales reduction just to bring cash in prior to the bankruptcy, it's over, Johnny. The company is finished. And we've had problems, guys that are old enough to remember Lee Iacocca and, when Chrysler filed bankruptcy and they were going to go out of business. That was an American success story. Lee Iacocca was sleeping one night and was running the company as a CEO and said, why don't I go to the government and see if I can borrow the money from them? And he did it. And not only did he do it, remember the K car and the J car, those horrible names, but those cars sold like hotcakes. They sold to corporate America like hotcakes. And those people that bought those cars were very happy, but Lee Iacocca paid the government back early, than they thought, years earlier than they thought they were going to pay it back. So will Stellantis do it? No, nobody can afford an $80,000 truck, $100,000 truck. This is the problem with this. And, it's going to be interesting, guys, because you're going to see a bank go out of business. It's going to happen. The interest rates rising in the bond market is going to destroy real estate. The problem with banks lending people money is that you're not going to have 0% mortgages or 0% auto loans. You're not going to have loans that are going to be absolutely free like they have been in the past. We've talked about the subprime auto market and the fact that the average auto loan is at 10% right now, which is huge, guys, because I'm telling you, you can spread out the payments as long as you want. But where dealerships are making money, generally where they've made money in the last 5 years, is from the service department. People are not doing right now? They're not servicing their vehicles. I'm not going back. It's funny. There's a lot of channels that show really high-end cars that make you look rich. And the thing about this is you can buy these cars that make you look rich. And the thing about that is you can buy them for $20,000, $30,000. But, like my buddy said, yeah, if I want to get an oil change on my car, it's about $800 to get an oil change on my car. And that was low end. You buy some of these Porsches, some of these Mercedes, BMWs, Bentleys, you're going to spend $2,500 to change the oil on those cars. So Stellantis, they've got an inventory problem. They've got a business problem. They owe people money. They are not paying their bills on time right now. They've got problems with the unions. And what's the best thing to do? Blow it all out, guys. Get rid of it. Unload it today. Tide is very high today. It's very nice to see this. So let me know what you think, guys, because you haven't seen anything yet, guys. It's only going to get more and more interesting as we move forward. The next thing is the Biden administration did something that was very good. And that is, have you ever had any medical debt that you agreed with or didn't agree with? Well, the Biden administration made it so that they cannot put medical bills on your credit report anymore, which is huge, guys. I mean, dealing with my late girlfriend and her estate and dealing with her bills and everything. I mean, there was some real nonsense in there. There really was. And the years that she had dealing with this, I always tell people, you have to be, you have to be aware of what your credit, what's on your credit report. You have to be aware of everything that they're billing you, everything they're saying. Are you covered? Are you not covered in this? Ask questions before you go in. If you have a procedure and you're not laying in an ambulance, you can ask questions, guys. Who's going to pay for this? Oh, well, you're responsible for X. We would know that. We'd write it down. Dr. So-and-so, 10:38 in the morning, this is what she said. We would do that. And sure enough, it made it so that there were many times you'd get a bill. No, here's the bill for $18,640. No, this is what you told them. Oh, yeah, okay. How many people don't do that? Well, the problem with it is that they throw this stuff on your credit report. Now, one thing that happened to me was I had a surgery about, gosh, how many years ago was that? About 8 years ago. And I was in the emergency room, and I just told this story to somebody else this morning, and that I walked in the emergency room thinking I was having a heart attack, and it was not a heart attack, it was something else. And they did the surgery, and then they moved, and they said, well, we have to do another procedure on you, and they put me in a hospital room. Well, you were out of network during that time. No, I'm at the hospital you told me to go to. I'm at my hospital. Yeah, but you were out of network, and on my insurance card I had another doctor listed. I said, oh, who the hell's that guy? I didn't even know what that word meant because it didn't make sense. And they were trying to tell me that I had to pay this huge fee. And I have insurance. Bill the insurance company. So I went to the hospital, dealt with that. And the worst part was when I was talking to the doctor's office, she's like, you're gonna pay this today. You're gonna work at a payment program, or I'm gonna destroy your credit. And for those of you that know me, my friends laugh when they hear this story because they go, oh, she didn't say that. Listen, go ahead and sue me. Just do it, okay? Because I'm never going to pay you. And I never paid that woman. And guess who paid the bill? The insurance company, eventually, about 90 days later. And they put it on my credit report. And my attorney was going to sue her for all the stuff that she said and for threatening me. But now that wouldn't even be in your credit report. So they would have had a much more difficult time. So stand up to bullies and fight the good fight, okay? But I think this is a good thing. I don't think the new administration is going to get rid of this because people like this. And everybody needs to have insurance. You need to have auto insurance to drive a car in the state that I am walking in. You need to have health insurance. You need to have homeowners and renters policy too. Because I'm telling you, those poor people from those fires that don't have renters policies, most people can't rent places without a renter's policy right now. So, man, oh man, you're going to see a lot of stuff fall out. There's going to be more fallout from this. But it is crazy. I've looked at houses in the hills in the last 3 months, and I'm so glad I don't live in a hill right now. That's all I got to say. So let me know what you think about all this, and there's more to cover. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Are you concerned about the instability of the stock market? I am. One thing that I've done is I've got myself into precious metals to protect my family if anything happens to me. The bond market is taken off. Prices are going sky high. You're going to see major instability in the stock market, and you need to protect yourself. The best thing to do is get a hedge, and that hedge is precious metals. The best place to get them is Patriot Gold Group. Call them today. It's very easy. They will answer all your questions. There is no pressure. This company is fantastic. They have done over $2 billion in transactions. They have thousands of 5-star ratings, and they are #1 rated for very good reason. Call them today, 888-330-1431. Let them answer all your questions. Let them show you how important it would be to have gold in your portfolio, IRAs, 401ks, backed by precious metals. Contact them today. They will answer all your questions. If you don't want to call, some of you don't want to do that, use the link below, fill it out. They will answer all your questions, but do it now before it's too late. You don't want to miss out on where gold could go over the course of 2025. One thing that I learned as a young man is you have your company, you have your product that you sell, you have your customers, you've got to bring revenue in, you got to make sure you get paid. how you get paid, credit cards cost money, bounce checks are a problem, the normal things. Right now, there are 5 businesses in the Seattle area that said that they're going to go out of business because the new minimum wage there in Seattle is $20.76 an hour. How much for a muffin, guys? Seriously. There is a restaurant called Belgado that says, listen, we cannot afford to pay these people this much money based on what we're doing. Now what the city says, well, they're not going to go out of business. They are. The California Restaurant Association is getting together saying, listen, we got to do something because the minimum wage is supposed to go up another 3.5%. It's $20.56 here in California. It's nuts, guys. It's crazy. You can't have McDonald's meals cost you this much money, where it's $20 to go eat there. I went to Del Taco on the way home and stopped in Barstow, California, and bought Rosie a plain hamburger and me a burrito and a drink. And you know what I spent? I spent $20 on that. And I'm like, that is insane. Okay. Now, before you give me hell for feeding the dog a hamburger, a plain hamburger, she drove for a while. She was hungry. Anyways, too much, guys. Too much. You can't squeeze money out of people like this and expect them to stay in business, because they're just going to raise their taxes too. Raise the business license fee, raise the water bill, raise the electric bill. We saw this in the UK 2 years ago, where they charged so much for energy that you had pubs that had been open 100 years that went out of business. And people are like, what are you going to do? And you had a pub that 1 month, I'm talking pounds now, paid 1,800 pounds for their electricity. And then 2 months later, it was 8,800 pounds. And they're like, good God, we don't make that money, So it was ridiculous. But this is what's happening, and you're going to see this more and more and more. Mike Lindell, who runs the My Pillow company, got sued by DHL, the courier. Now, one thing that Mike did was in 2023, they had a lawsuit back and forth. Hey, you owe us for shipping. And he worked out a deal to where he owed them $775,000 in shipping for product that had already been shipped. Okay, customers already got stuff. Whether it was inventory to manufacture, whatever it was stuff that was already shipped. He agreed to pay them 24 monthly equal payments and didn't pay them. And again, is that guy going to go out of business? Who knows? Who knows? But the point is that they just went back to court in the last week and got another judgment against the guy for $700,000, attorney's fees, all this stuff. You can read the story below. It gets to a point that you can't make money doing this. You're starting to see businesses in New York City say, hey, we'll help you with the congestion tax. Come to our store, we'll give you a $9 coupon. So it's like getting here for free. Now, will that motivate you? Some of these are high-end stores. Women spend a lot of money at these stores. Who knows if that'll work, okay? But it gets to a point that people are fed up, man. People are fed up with being squeezed. People are fed up with being taxed to oblivion and beyond. Let me know what you think, guys. Don't forget, guys, Bob Kudla has decided to do a trading class for stocks, and it's going to cover beginning, intermediate, and advanced trading. Go to bobstradingclass.com to sign up. You've got just 2 days left until he raises the price on it to where it's supposed to really be. So check it out today, bobstradingclass.com. Use the link below and sign up today. You don't want to miss this. It's on January 15th after the market closes at 1:30 Pacific. Check it out today. I'm going to end this video on these last couple stories. There are a couple restaurants here in Southern California, in Laguna Beach, that were famous in the sense that a lot of people went there. Skyloft and Bodega just closed their doors overnight this week. Nobody knows. Story below on this. But these were kind of cool places down there. Skyloft was nice. Taking a lot of dates there. And it's, you get lots of drinks, but they have a bar up on top, Skyloft, and you go up there and sit up on the roof. They had heaters. It was just really, really romantic and nice. And I'm charming too, so it was nice. But it's sad to hear this place go out of business, but there's no explanation, and their social media presence has been shut down. Now, final story is, remember Don King, the promoter for George Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Thrill in Manila? Remember that fight in the 70s? Anyways, Don King has been sued lately because they wanted to have a 50th anniversary for the Thriller in Manila 2. The Rumble in the Jungle. I'm sorry, Rumble in the Jungle 2. And a guy named Cecil Lewis is suing Don King for $3 billion because he said he was going to help him set this fight up that never took place. So I had no idea Don King had passed away a long time ago. So I was sorry to hear that, but getting sued for $3 billion will do it. So Don King says he never sanctioned the fight, never wanted to have anything to do with it. Who would you want to see box right now? Seriously, I can't think of anybody who you'd want to see travel to Africa that we would sit there and have a pay-per-view event. And remember, this was, George Foreman was favored in that fight. When you read the story below, it's really good because George Foreman was heavily favored. Muhammad Ali ended up knocking him out. George Foreman went on to become a very successful guy. I knew the person that was one of the attorneys that worked on the George Foreman grill. That guy made millions and millions of dollars from that thing. And it was basically something that was, open it up, drop a hamburger, and you can cook with the George Foreman grill. So anyways, ridiculous. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, email me hello@iallegedly.com, and I'll see you real soon.